Welcome to Spotlight on Health on 96.1 Joy FM, Western New York's only weekly health talk radio program, sponsored by Mercy Hospital, Dent Neurologic Institute, Dr. Lonnie Berkman at LifeCell DX, Hemophilia Center of Western New York, Spotlight on Hope, the Hemostasis Thrombosis Lab of Western New York, and Success Stories. And now the host of Spotlight on Health, Tom McNulty.
Good morning, one and all. Welcome to another informative session, Spotlight on Health on 96.1 Joy FM. I'm your host, Tom McNulty. Our producer each and every week is Dale Musson, and we're very happy that you are with us today. For some of you that have been listening to the show for a while, you know that we have taken a position to really enlighten Western New York about some of the issues going on with our returning veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan, and veterans in general, and some of the special programs that now exist in our community. So it's been our intention to let our listeners know of resources that are available, how you can help, how you can reach out, how you can be more enlightened and a little more sensitive. So today we're going to be talking about a very unique issue and an opportunity, and I really emphasize that word opportunity for our community to participate and make a difference and make a contribution that will really touch your heart. So joining us again, and we're delighted he's back, is Chris Kreiger. Chris is president of Western New York Heroes, and joining Chris is Reverend Alex Knowles. He's the executive director of Pioneer Camp and Retreat Center. Welcome, gentlemen, to Spotlight on Health.
Thanks for having us back, Tom.
Thank you.
It's great to have both of you back, because I know today's topic is going to be very interesting and, again, an opportunity for our listeners to participate. Maybe to get us started, Chris, let our listeners know a little overview of Western New York Heroes and how it got started and the kind of work you do.
Western New York Heroes, obviously being local here in Western New York, all the funding that we bring in through donations or fundraising remains here in the 8 counties of Western New York. And it goes towards helping our men and women and their families with rent, mortgage, utilities, everyday essential living needs that they might be in need of.
Mm-hmm. So unlike some of those well-mentioned and well-meaning programs like Wounded Warrior and others, they look more of a national reach, where Western New York Heroes is strictly treating our friends, family, and neighbors.
Right, and we would never talk bad about a fellow veteran organization by any means, but because they're national, they get all the state and federal funding nationally, obviously, where ours, because we remain locally, we count on our community supporters to keep us operating.
That is a big difference and a big challenge. So you rely on the hearts and minds and consciousness of people in our community, as well as lots of events, I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. We probably 2 events a month. Just with fundraising, but we've been around several years, so we have a lot of third-party fundraisers that go on out there, which shows the community support and the backing for what we do. So that alone is very special and means a lot.
Sure. What might be some of the typical needs of the veterans who are returning beyond, caring for some medical issues?
Well, I mean, today you have Veterans Court. Dealing with the veterans who return back home, and seems to be that biggest part is they return back home to no job.
Yeah.
Like anybody else, I guess it would become depressing.
Sure.
Turns to the drinking, the drugs, the domestic violence, and overall affects the family as a whole, including the children, especially when you're dealing with these families who lost a parent, whether it be Iraq or Afghanistan, and have a much greater weight sitting on their shoulders.
Sure.
That right now they don't know how to deal with as children.
Right. Yeah, they really don't. It's a situation they did not expect, and therefore don't have the tools to know how to deal with it. Reverend Knowles, how did you get involved? And tell us a little bit about Pioneer Camp and Retreat Center.
Pioneer Camp and Retreat Center has been around since 1945. It's a privately owned camp down in Angola, New York. And for the past really 8 years, we've stretched out and have been serving the veteran community through a program called Operation Purple Camp, which is in partnership with the National Military Family Association. Western New York Heroes has been partnering with Pioneer for the last few years and helping us to put on this camp. National Military Family Association used to have really big grants for this program, but in the past few years, because of cut downs and cutbacks and funding and all that, the grants have really decreased in size. And so Pioneer has been doing more fundraising and through generous donations through individuals, churches, VFWs, Legions, and in great partnerships with Western New York Heroes and other organizations, we've been able to continue to put on this camp for no cost to the veterans or their families. And so we've been reaching out to veterans, their families, to kids. Last year we had 231 kids register for 100 slots.
Wow.
And we're only authorized a certain number of slots every year, so the need is great. And we try to provide for as many kids as we can, and we expand it out as much as we're allowed to.
Yeah. Is that a capacity issue in terms of number of beds or number of
No, we actually have a lot more beds available. NMFA, National Military Family Association, puts the limits on what we can do. This year we're actually able to do far more. They've stopped the limits a bit.
Yeah.
But so we're expanding that out to probably about 150 kids, which we're really excited about.
That's great.
Yes.
How many kids would you estimate in our community, Chris, could benefit from a program like this in just Western New York?
It's funny you asked that, because Alex and I, just a couple weeks ago, we were going over the numbers within Western New York and covering the entire state of New York. And it's broken down, correct me if I'm wrong, it's broken down by the branches. Different branches have different number of children. And I think, was the Army came in at the most at 239?
Well, that's for a different program. The Operation Purple Camp is for deployed kids whose family members have recently deployed, are currently deployed, or are about to deploy. And so that's a very
big
large
category.
number.
Yeah.
The program that Chris is talking about is a brand new program that Western New York Heroes and Pioneer are now partnering with, which were requested to start by a Gold Star family.
Okay.
It's a unique program that's brand new, and a Gold Star family is different than anyone else. A Gold Star family is a family whose parent or soldier was killed overseas. You know those flags that are out there? You see them, the blue stars on the red and white flag?
Yes.
The service star. When the star turns gold, it means that the service member was killed overseas, killed in action. Now they're a Gold Star family. Well, everyone thinks, well, because the soldier was killed overseas, they probably have everything taken care of because the government is going to take care of those who gave the most.
Right.
That's what I thought. I'm a chaplain in the Army also.
Sure.
And I thought the government's going to take care of those who gave the most.
Right, and ease the pain and suffering.
Exactly. Well, Chris and Chris revealed this to me too. That's far from the truth.
Right.
They don't get everything they need. And after we worked with a couple of the Gold Star families here in New York and in Western New York, I saw the truth in that they don't have all that they need. And so they asked if we could start a camp for them because they don't have a camp for their kids. And so now we're looking into doing that. And that's what we're here today to talk about also, is this brand new camp for Gold Star kids.
And we want our listeners to please keep a pencil and paper handy throughout our broadcast today, because we want you to jot down information so that you can figure out a way how your neighborhood, your company, your church group can step up to the plate and support one of these children to go to the camp. Why is it, Chris, important for there to be some separation between a Gold Star child and a child whose mom and dad may have been deployed or have returned?
Separation as far as the camp itself goes?
The differences.
Alex and I, we had been talking, when we first started talking about partnering up and putting this camp together, this one particular Gold Star family from the Niagara Falls, Lewiston area, I called Alex and said, Western New York Heroes will pay to put their children into Operation Purple Camp. Alex then took it back to Albany, I believe, and it kind of got shot down, and Alex explained to me why, and I guess it's just something I never thought of, is the last thing you want to do is take a child of a Gold Star family and have them mingle with a Blue Star family, and these children whose parents are currently over there, on their way over there, and kind of send those kids into an anxiety attack that's unnecessary. So I understand now the need to keep them separated so that they're not intertwining, if you will.
Yeah. And let's talk more about that. Today we're talking with Chris Kreiger, who is the president of Western New York Heroes. And again, please keep a pencil and paper. We're going to give you important contact information for Western New York Heroes and this program. And joining Chris is Reverend Alex Knowles, who is the executive director of Pioneer Camp and Retreat Center in Angola, New York. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Oh, another headache. So much to do. I can't focus. There has to be someone that can help.
And there is. Hi, I'm Dr. Laszlo Metzler, director of the Dent Headache Center. If you have a pounding, throbbing, and aching headache that keeps coming back, you're not alone. Headaches affect the lives of 30 million people in the United States. Chronic headaches and migraines is a major cause of missed school and work. But the fact that you have headaches doesn't mean that you have to lose control of your life. Contact your primary care physician to find out if a visit to the Dent Headache Center is appropriate. We'll evaluate your headache history, lifestyle factors, and triggers and create a regimen to decrease and ultimately eliminate your headaches and migraines. We also offer our patients research studies for the treatment of their headaches.
Finally, the help you need. Call the Dent Headache Center today at 250-2000. What do you have to lose other than your headache pain? Your health, your choice. Choose Dent. 250-2000. Visit the Dent Headache Center today for a better tomorrow.
Spotlight on Hope, Inc. is a non-for-profit organization utilizing the creative arts of theater, film, television, radio, music, word, dance, and photography to advance health, medical, behavioral health, and social information to identified audiences and targeted markets. Does your organization need a new look? Tired of the same old PowerPoint presentations? Let Spotlight on Hope orchestrate a presentation that brings new life and energy to your message. The creative staff of Spotlight on Hope will develop the right production to reach your objective. Call 481-4578. That's 481-4578. What are you waiting for? Get in the spotlight today. Spotlight on Hope, 481-4578.
We're back. Thanks for staying with us. You're listening to Spotlight on Health on 96.1 Joy FM. I'm your host, Tom McNulty. Our producer is Dale Musson, and today a really fascinating opportunity for our community to show our kindness and support to those, no doubt, in serious need of some respite, some opportunity to feel better, if you will. And our guests today are Chris Kreiger, who is president of Western New York Heroes, an organization that's been in our community for a few years now, doing amazing things for returning Iraq and Afghanistan vets and vets in general. And joining him is Reverend Alex Knowles, who's the executive director of Pioneer Camp and Retreat Center. And that's what we're talking about, an opportunity in the summer for kids to have a chance to go to a camp. And before the break, Chris, you were talking about kind of how you discovered the difference in terms of emotional mixing of kids in a camp setting, and how the Blue Star kids are kind of nervous enough, and Gold Star kids have already had that loss. What are some of the things that our listeners should know that kids go through once mom and dad get on that plane and go over to serve?
If you keep in mind, we as the veteran, we went down and we signed up voluntarily. A lot of us didn't even consider what the family goes through once we make that commitment. So the kids, especially the kids, they have no choice but to go through the ride,
I don't
if
think
you
of
will.
it that way, yeah.
And as children, everyday life is very stressful to them. So now you throw in the mix that now, they're not going to see their parent or parents today for a year or more. That just tripled the amount of stress sitting on their shoulders. Then you turn around and they get that knock at the door, that phone call that their parent had just been killed in action. Mm-hmm. That's an unbearable weight that any child, let alone an adult today, to walk around with.
Mm-hmm. And they feel isolated even on an everyday basis. It's hard to go through just the normal get up, get dressed, go play sports.
Sure, because they're different, especially if you look at a lot of the school activities. They have Father's Day, they have Mother's Day, they have Grandparents' Day. There's a lot of grandparents that are still serving today, and they're usually that one child who's there without the parent, and the other kids don't understand. And today's world with the bullying that goes on, Alex and I just dealt with it a couple months back, where a particular Gold Star child was being bullied at a school because her father was killed in Afghanistan.
That's unimaginable.
Yeah, absolutely. And their children, they don't understand it, they don't get it.
Yeah.
To them, it's no big deal. But to that child who lost their parent, that's an everyday, humongous big deal.
Right. Alex, tell us a little bit about how the camp will be set up for the special interests and not turn it into a counseling camp, if you will.
Right.
And I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but
Right. Right. The way we're looking at this Gold Star camp, and we're calling it Operation Gold Star.
Okay.
And what we're looking to do is to bring together a bunch of kids that have a common need or are in a common situation, and to bring them together with other kids that are in the same situation.
Yeah.
They could be in the same community and don't even know it.
Right.
Because they're not going to go to school and necessarily talk about it like
Yeah,
that. They
very
could be in
true.
the same classroom by chance. Who knows?
Right.
And they're going to come together and just have a good time and play together and do high ropes together, go boating, tubing, or whatever they want to do. And yes, we will have some particular times where we talk about maybe how to cope with something, but it's going to be very lightweight things. And on the staff or on the grounds, there will be a counselor of some sort there. We're partnering with an organization to bring someone in, but it'll only be in case they need that.
Sure.
In case something comes up where that child needs to go and talk to someone. So we want to make sure that we have that available, but it's definitely not going to be like
It's
a
not the
grief
primary
camp.
focus,
No,
right.
No, it's not going to be a grief camp. It's going to be a camp for kids to go and have fun, because what we're hoping is that they come together, they meet other kids in the same situation from their same area, and throughout the year then they can maybe give them a call, they can join together, and they can build a community for themselves, and that
That's
through
great.
that they can be stronger together.
And you often hear of camps in general where kids establish relationships that last a lifetime, or they have memories of camp that are very fond memories of the things that they did at camp, and how just getting away, especially kids who are inner city kids or don't get out into the country, as you say, and get a chance to do river rafting or climbing, things like that.
It's very interesting that we do a lot of camps, different camps throughout the summertime, but the military camps, even though they don't know each other through any other way, when those kids come together, they join together and they connect with one another faster than a lot of the other camp groups do. And they go into their cabin and boom, they gel right together. They have a commonality. Their fathers or mothers are in the military together, and they just gel together, and we see them walking down the pathways instantly as friends.
Yeah, it's almost as if they don't need to say anything. And I remember you told me, Chris, a long time ago, you can go into a room and no one has to say anything, and you can go, veteran, veteran.
Sure. Yeah, it's that one thing we all have in common that nobody really understands. It's a family or a marriage outside of a marriage.
So tell us how the camp will start. What time of year do you do the camp? How long does it run?
This camp will be on, it's actually our first week of camp season. It'll start on June 29th and end on July 4th.
Okay.
So this will be the beginning of our camp year. This is when, again, the Gold Star mother that asked us to have, we thought it would be a good time to start it right at the end of the school year before a lot of other activities start. And so it'll be June 29th till July 4th will be the Gold Star, Operation Gold Star, the first ever of its kind.
Is there any concern that the parents might be a little overprotective and not want to let their child go away?
There is.
You're shaking your head.
There is, and that's why also it's in Western New York. We're not asking them to send their kid to Ohio
That's a good point. Yep.
or Montana or somewhere like that. It's right in their own hometown. If they want to come down and see the camp beforehand or check us out, we're more than happy to accommodate that. They come down, look at us, and look at us online, Facebook, call us. And I am an Army chaplain also, so they know that we're right there with them.
Excellent, excellent. When we come back, I want to get some information about age groups and applications and some of the process. And then most importantly, and again, I ask my listeners, please get out a pencil and paper. We want to give you some information about how you can help. And the gentleman here today will tell you how you can reach out and make a major difference in the life of a child for even just a week. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
When a heart attack hits, you need high-quality care quickly. And that's exactly what you'll get from the Catholic Health ER Network, which brings nationally recognized cardiac care closer to you. Every location of this 6-hospital network is staffed with expert cardiologists and backed by the Heart Center at Mercy Hospital, whose coronary surgery program received the highest rating from the Society of Thoracic Surgeons, and whose interventional cardiology program was rated in the top 10% nationally by Healthgrades. And Mercy boasts the only team in Western New York that uses the Da Vinci robot for open heart procedures. Choose the Catholic Health ER Network for care that's close to your heart. For a physician referral, call Health Connection at 447-6205 or visit chsbuffalo.org. Catholic Health. Closer care. Closer to recovery.
That's a baby. We both want to have a baby, but it hasn't happened.
We get into this question, is it you, is it me, but no answers from the docs.
I'm stressed out. We've seen 3 doctors and so many options to think about.
But then we heard about Dr. Lonnie Berkman and LifeCell DX, and we realized we did not have all the critical answers.
We went together to the free consultation, and Dr. Berkman explained everything LifeCell DX had to offer. We asked our personal questions. The simple test and answers were at LifeCell DX. We talked it over with Dr. Berkman and brought the test results to our doctors.
Now, we're ready to make some informed decisions about surgery and other treatments.
What is more precious than being parents to a baby? The advanced semen analysis is only offered at LifeCell DX. With this detailed report, you'll know the effects of nicotine or other chemicals. You'll know if he is fertile. Why go day in, day out without answers? Call Dr. Lonnie Berkman at LifeCell DX today, 716-408-3306, or toll free 866-999-3296. LifeCell DX is located in Amherst, New York. Call 716-408-3306 or toll free 866-999-3296.
We're back. Thanks for staying with us. You're listening to Spotlight on Health on 96.1 Joy FM. I'm your host, Tom McNulty. Our producer is Dale Musson. Today we're talking about a very unique opportunity to be part of what some very brave men and women and their families, as Chris Kreiger pointed out, that kids and the families didn't sign up. It was the military personnel who made the decision to do that, but the family comes along for the ride, and the children are often very mystified by what's going on around them and don't know what to do. But there's an opportunity at the Pioneer Camp and Retreat Center for a program called Gold Star Kids. And our guest today is Chris Kreiger. He's president of Western New York Heroes, and Reverend Alex Knowles, who's the executive director of Pioneer Camp and Retreat Center. Some of the basics for our listeners: is there an application process, age group, gender, maximum amount of kids? Tell us some of the details.
There is. There's all of that. And the age that we're accepting is 7 to 17.
Okay.
Male and female. It's for Gold Star Kids for this program. There's many other programs that they can apply for, but for the Operation Gold Star, it's Gold Star Kids. And they should either call the camp, go to our webpage, pioneercamp.org.
Okay.
And the phone number is 549-1420.
And we'll give that out again.
Great.
Okay.
And there is no cost to the families. We're doing all of this through generous donations from individuals, corporations, VFWs, legions, anyone who'd like to donate. The cost toward the camp for each camper is about $360 per camper. That's how much it costs us to run the camp. Mm-hmm. So if anyone would like to donate that, or organization, and Western New York Heroes and others have already contributed and are giving us money toward that. So, Chris?
Okay. Chris, what do you want to tell our listeners?
Well, Western New York Heroes, obviously, when Alex and I got together, we're going to kick in the first $5,000 for the camp to help get it going and off the ground. Since then, we've gained the support of HSBC Bank.
Wow,
we've sent out requests for support to Geico, to New Era CAP, Oshai Foundation. Like Alex said, there's no cost to the families, but somebody has to underwrite it.
So you have to feed them and
sure,
right.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
the community support has been tremendous. They say Western New York takes care of Western New York.
Yeah,
and that's
per capita, they're the most
absolutely.
giving community. So I said earlier, I made reference to a neighborhood group or a company department or other. It doesn't have to be IBM coming to the plate.
No, absolutely not. Even your everyday community supporter individual can turn around and donate something as simple as $50. Every dollar counts. I know with Western New York Heroes, and I'm sure with Camp Pioneer, even $1, it goes a long way.
Sure. So church organizations, high school groups, it'd be like kids helping other kids. So the high school community, if you have kids out there who are in high school, talk to their principal, talk to the guidance counselor about an opportunity for kids to know that they're helping other kids their age. Alex, what's the maximum capacity for this program initially?
We are looking for 60 Gold Star kids. That's for this first year. That's our capacity for this new program. And we're really excited about it. And if anyone would like to come on down during that week and watch and see what's going on, that'd be great to see that too.
Well, I'm glad you raised that. Is there an opportunity for volunteers or support?
Not a lot of volunteers, but absolutely to come down and to see what's going on and gain and watch or to support the camp that way, to support the families and the kids. So, yeah.
Would there be any issues around confidentiality for
some
that?
of it? So we'll call the camp.
Call the camp first.
Yep. There'll be an opportunity on the first and last day. Yeah.
Okay. And then I want to go back again to the application. Is that on your website?
It is going to be it is on the website, and also to call the camp at the number 549-1420.
Okay.
And that's the best way to get it.
Okay. Can you say that number again, please?
549-1420.
And the website
is www.pioneercamp.org.
Okay. And Chris, a salute you want to give to some of the organizations that are already helping? You mentioned HSBC.
Yeah. Obviously, everybody out there, we have the support of Keller Chevrolet. We have a lot of law firms, North Forest Properties. We've gained a lot of community support being around for the last several years and proving to the community that we do what we say we're doing. And I just want to add one thing, that we have our children's program that we call WNY Kids Are Heroes 2, TOO, which is a program or an arm of Western New York Heroes. And we were able to, when we created that program a couple years ago, we were able to physically launch it and get it up and off the ground because of the generous support of the NFADA, the Niagara Frontier Auto Dealers Association, that gave us the first $15,000 to launch the program. And since then, we've been able to raise thousands more. And that program is designated strictly for children of our military who are looking to get involved with extracurricular activities that maybe their parent can't afford at the time.
Is there any estimate you would have since you started, Chris, on how many families you've helped since Western New York Heroes has started? Ballpark.
Yeah. I would say close to well over 1,000 families.
1,000 families. I just want our audience to know how many people there are in our community who need our help, who came from our community to serve our country.
Well, when we started breaking down numbers, there's over 172,000 veterans in Western New York alone. That's second largest to New York City and Long Island.
Wow.
So the veteran population here is tremendous.
It's enormous, and the amount of children that come with it is growing and enormous as well. And this will be a long-term need. One final question, and I want to give out the numbers again. If you go to camp this year, can you go to camp again next year?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, you can.
Okay. Because I know a lot of kids look forward to camp after school, and it'd be a wonderful experience for them to continue. Again, the phone number and the website?
Our phone number is 549-1420, and our website is pioneercamp.org.
We want to thank the amazing work of Chris Kreiger, president of Western New York Heroes, and Reverend Alex Knowles, Pioneer Camp and Retreat Center. And I issue a challenge to our listeners: make this happen for these kids. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Spotlight on Health with host Tom McNulty, sponsored by Dent Neurologic Institute, Dr. Lenny Berkman of LifeCell DX, Hemophilia Center of Western New York, Mercy Hospital, Spotlight on Hope, the Hemostasis Thrombosis Lab of Western New York, and Success Stories. Follow Spotlight on Health on Facebook and at spotlightonhope.org.